Ariel Helwani post-fight at UFC 126 alongside Steven Seagal after Anderson Silva's brilliant win over Vitor Belfort tonight. And Mr. Seagal, thank you very much for the time, first and foremost. Anderson, after the fight, said that he learned that front kick to the face from you.
Right.
Where'd you teach that? Where'd you learn that?
Where did I learn it? Well, I learned it, sort of a variation of that in Japan probably 30, 40 years ago, and I've been perfecting it all these years. It's not exactly karate, it's just something that I created that's a little bit different that I thought Anderson can learn well because he's sort of a natural-born athlete. He has very quick hands and feet, and his kicks are good to begin with, so I started teaching him kicks that I thought he could really hurt people with, and in practice he was knocking people out with body shots. At that point I knew he was going to start to really make these kicks, work.
Have you ever seen someone in a combat sports match knock someone out with that kick?
Well, nobody knows the kick. I'm teaching it to Machida-kun and Anderson and a few of the Brazilians, but we haven't really used it much yet. I haven't shown it to many people yet.
So when you actually saw him pull it off, what were you thinking?
I was really proud of him and really happy. He did it really well.
What were your thoughts on the first couple minutes of the fight where they were sort of not really engaging each other?
I just felt that the word we have for that in the fight community is something that wouldn't be fit for for mainline publication, but it's a kind of a phobia, let's call it. There's this sort of hesitance to really get in there, and as soon as somebody throws the first punch or kick and somebody feels the first punch or kick, then usually they get over that and they start getting their timing and their distance corrected, and then they start being able to kind of hit each other or kick each other, and so it took them a while to warm up.
How did you actually meet Anderson?
Gosh, I don't remember. Anyway, people had come to ask me, if I would be interested in. Oh, he actually sent me a letter or a memo saying, "Will you please teach me your deadly stuff?" And then I made a point to come and see him. And him and Lyoto Machida are two of my favorite guys. But all the guys in that house are my favorite guys. But those two especially, I'm trying to work hard on.
Would you ever consider training other fighters too, or would you just like to focus on them?
It's really about attitude and friendship. I'm not doing any of this for money or fame or anything. I haven't. This is the first interview. I wouldn't even be doing this interview if George didn't tell me not to do it for him. But I'm just doing it out of love for the guys, and trying to help them perfect themselves.
And Dana White just said that next for Anderson could be George St. Pierre.
Right.
I know it's kind of early, but how do you see that fight playing out?
I think it'd be a very, very tough fight for both of them.
All right, final question. What do you think of UFC in general? You're a guy who has been around the martial arts world. You were one of the first.
Life,
and now the sport, martial arts in general getting a lot more attention because of the UFC and the rise of mixed martial arts. What do you think of it?
Well, it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, there's some people who are saying, and certainly some of this is true, that we've lost a lot of the sacred nature of the secret lineage of passing on things that wouldn't be disseminated in the public, and these traditions that are really not to be bought and sold and played out in public like this. But on the other hand, it's really helped people hone their techniques to learn what really works in the real world, and it's brought attention to the martial arts, which is a great thing. And so I think you have to kind of always take the good with the bad and look at the whole picture, in which case I would say that UFC has brought out a lot of spectacular moments and a lot of amazing athletes and martial artists.
And if the sport was this popular perhaps 20 years ago, do you think you might have competed inside the octagon?
Well, I was not supposed to do that, but I may have been a bad boy and done it.
Well, thank you so much for the time, and congratulations on the big win.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.